Hey folks! The United Way of Rhode Island's 95th annual celebration will be kicking off in just a few minutes. This celebration would not be possible without the generous support of our sponsors. Here to tell you why they are supporting our 95th annual celebration is Jennifer McDermott from Webster Bank, followed by Pat Crowley from the Rhode Island AFL-CIO.
Good evening. My name is Jennifer McDermott, and I'm a senior manager for the public sector finance portfolio at Webster Bank. This year, I've had the pleasure of serving on the Young Leaders Circle board, just one of the affinity groups led by the United Way of Rhode Island. Webster Bank is proud to be the main sponsor of the United Way's annual celebration, Rhode Island United. Let me offer our congratulations to this evening's honorees for their leadership and dedication to the United Way's mission. Webster has a long history of supporting the United Way of Rhode Island's activities, with thousands of dollars and many hours of volunteer time over the years. As we continue to navigate this pandemic, it has allowed us to think outside the box on how we are able to continue our volunteer efforts in supporting the United Way. In conjunction with the Young Leaders Circle, the most recent initiative has been our Back to School campaign, where we help stuff backpacks to be delivered to underserved youth, as well as participated in supporting the teens from Boys Town, New England. United Way and Webster share a lot of the same values. Webster is a values-guided bank that believes in supporting the communities where we live and work. In this challenging year, United Way has continued to provide the basics to the community in the hopes of creating equal opportunity for justice and prosperity for all Rhode Islanders. We are proud to work together with the United Way to help affect positive change throughout the communities across the state. Thank you for supporting the United Way.
The labor movement and United Way have been partners for over 80 years. And here in Rhode Island, the AFL-CIO is proud to work with our friends at United Way of Rhode Island. Our leader, George Nee, often describes the work of organized labor as serving as the people's lobby, fighting not just for our members' interests, but in the interest of all of Rhode Island's people, especially its working class. To be effective in that cause, we, like United Way of Rhode Island, believe we must identify the root causes of what plagues us as a society: racism, poverty, and injustice, and find united solutions to overcoming those issues and transform our state and our country in pursuit of that more perfect union our nation's founders dreamed about more than 200 years ago. The work of the team at the United Way of Rhode Island under the leadership of Courtney Nicolato is inspiring. And even under the pressures and hardships we continue to endure because of the COVID-19 pandemic, they still are doing amazing work. Thanks to the service of my brother Chris Sabatoni from the Laborers Union, who serves on United Way's board, and the hard work of our labor liaison, Paula Manso, our two organizations have tried to the best of our ability to keep Rhode Island moving forward. Thank you for recognizing my friend and my hero, George Nee, with the Dante Malo Award. For decades, George has fought tirelessly for the people who don't always get the recognition they deserve. From the CNAs and nurses in our nursing homes, to the construction workers trying to get a fair day's pay for a fair day's work, to the cashier at the local market who's trying to get by on minimum wages. George fights harder than anyone I know to ensure people can go to work with their head held high and get home safe. I can think of no more deserving honoree. Thank you to United Way of Rhode Island and all of the guests and sponsors of this event tonight. Here's to continuing to work to make Rhode Island a better place for generations to come.
Let's talk about how we have so much to celebrate.
Okay.
United Way Rhode Island is an amazing organization.
United Way is so proud to partner with the state and our other community partners.
It's a privilege to be aligned with the United Way of Rhode Island.
On January 14th, we announced to the Rhode Island community Live United 2025, and in that, made the commitment to invest $100 million over the next 5 years in our state.
Housing, building racial equity, high quality education.
We want to show and help folks to know that their voice matters.
What's great about Rhode Island is that we're small but mighty. We come together when times are tough. We celebrate when times are good.
It doesn't matter how much you give. It matters that you have it in your mind and your heart to do what you can to give back to your community.
Rhode Island needs us, needs all of us to continue to come together for the greater good. And we at United Way, even after 95 years, are excited, but we're just getting started.
Good evening, and welcome to United Way of Rhode Island's 95th annual celebration. 95! For 95 years, the United Way of Rhode Island has been an anchor institution in our state. We have served Rhode Island through war, through economic depressions, recessions, through hurricanes, snowstorms, and floods. And most recently, as we all know, through a global pandemic, whose impact illuminated a bright light through the unbelievable cracks we have in our communities. The past 18 months was a time when people needed help, lots of help, to navigate the COVID-19 pandemic. And you stepped up to provide that help. You delivered when Rhode Islanders needed us the most. And I think that deserves a little celebration. But first, we must recognize that this pandemic has caused immense heartache and loss in our community. More than 2,800 Rhode Islanders have died as a result of COVID-19. Those are more than just numbers. They are grandparents, mothers, fathers, children, friends, neighbors, and colleagues. There's no doubt that the pandemic has been devastating, but what has been inspiring is the way that we've showed up for each other in this time of need. And in particular, the multitude of ways in which Team United jumped in feet first to support each other. And here are just a few of those ways. Our 211 call center answered over 250,000 calls from Rhode Islanders looking for support and resources. We led the Safe Harbor Housing Program, distributing over $7.1 million in rental and legal support to help keep people in their homes. We helped thousands of and underemployed participants with basic needs while they were being retrained for viable jobs. When individuals had to quarantine or isolate due to a positive test or a close contact, we connected them with the resources that they need. We didn't do this alone. We are proud to have worked with mission-based organizations throughout Rhode Island, as well as our partners in government and business in navigating through this response. We were truly a united front and continue to be against this virus. While the virus was a new challenge, the issues it exacerbated were not. For far too long, our state has faced a lack of housing, high-quality education, and workforce training, as well as complicated and confusing service networks for our healthcare and basic needs. We have to turn the tide because these issues require a lot more than just business as usual. So this winter, we launched a new strategic plan and a goal of investing $100 million in Rhode Island through 2025. The goals of that plan were guided by you, the community, who told us loud and clear what our state needed to thrive. We announced the pillars of Live United 2025 last January, but this was never a plan that was meant to sit on the shelf. And Team United is never a group that likes to sit still. And so tonight, just 10 months after that plan was launched, I'm proud to report significant progress on that plan. Working with our nonprofit partners, as well as our leaders in government and businesses, here are just a few things that United Way has helped make happen this year. After years of stagnation, we have made some big housing wins this year, including passing Yes on 3, the bond campaign which secured $65 million for affordable housing, a bill ending the source of income discrimination in the rental market, securing of a permanent funding stream in the General Assembly budget for housing, creating a state position that will oversee housing initiatives in our state. And along with the Rhode Island Complete Count Committee, we made sure that everyone who lives in our state counts, or in this case, was counted in the 2020 census. This is all in addition of $1.1 million in housing investments that United Way of Rhode Island has made this year and every year. In another major victory, our state now has a $15 minimum wage, and the United Way was proud to be a partner in that campaign. We also made significant progress in supporting what we call the tiny humans, as our staff like to call them. This spring, along with Books Are Wings, we collected almost 30,000 books, bringing the total number of books collected and distributed through our book drive to more than 250,000. That is an incredible investment in our children and a great example where we wouldn't allow the pandemic to hinder progress. This year also marked historic investments in our nonprofit community. In our fiscal year that ended in June, thanks to the generosity of our Impact Network donors, our Community Impact Fund made over 130 grants to nonprofits in our state, totaling more than $6.5 million. This strategic grant making supports the work that is aligned with the pillars of our Live United 2025 strategic plan. We also hosted our second year of 401 Gives, Rhode Island's statewide day of giving. And the generosity of Rhode Islanders simply blew us away. More than 12,000 donors participated, representing a 60% increase from 2020. You all donated $2.3 million to 422 local nonprofits, and it was a heck of a lot of fun. Can't wait to raise the bar even higher next year. Finally, United Way helped Rhode Islanders give an additional $5.4 million directly to nonprofits through our workplace campaigns. There is truly so much to celebrate here tonight, and it is all because of people like you, our donors, our nonprofit partners, our corporate champions, and our volunteers. You are the threads that connect the Live United community, and tonight, we say thank you. Speaking of thank yous, we have an abundance of gratitude for our board chair, Michelle Letteberg, who has served as our fearless leader for the past 3 years. Michelle has served on our board since 2012. She has been a relentless force for good throughout every single moment in those last 9 years. And she served in a variety of ways. She served as chair of our ethics committee, chair of our community investment committee, and then as the last 3 years as board chair. Michelle led our organization through its first leadership change in 15 years, as well as a global pandemic and so much more. Michelle is truly a gift to our community, and there is absolutely no question that our organization is better because of her leadership. It is my pleasure to turn the program over to one incredible human and incredible community change agent, Michelle Letteberg.
Courtney, thank you for those kind words. It has been my honor and privilege to serve as the board chair for United Way during these last 3 years. I consider myself very fortunate to have started my term as board chair just as you were taking over as president and CEO of United Way. It's been a fantastic partnership. The mission of United Way to build racial equity and opportunity through uniting the community and its resources is well aligned with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Rhode Island's focus and commitment to the comprehensive health and well-being of all Rhode Islanders. The synergy between our two organizations has made my board service that much more meaningful. I've learned so much about our community during my past 9 years of board service. And although my term is coming to an end, I know the long-standing partnership between Blue Cross and United Way will continue. I would be remiss if I did not take a moment to acknowledge the accomplishments of United Way, and they would not be possible without the dedication of the amazing staff, my fellow board members, and our many volunteers who give so much of their time, as well as the donors who make this work possible. Thank you. In particular, I want to recognize and thank those individuals who are completing their term of service on both the Board of Directors and the Community Advisory Board. It was an absolute honor to work with all of you. Your commitment to the people of our state is inspiring. Thank you for your service. At this point, I want to pass the torch to the incoming chair of the United Way Board, Dolph Johnson. Dolph is the Executive Vice President and Global Chief Human Resources Officer for Hasbro. I have had the pleasure to get to know Dolph during my term on the board. We work closely together on several committees, including the search committee that brought Courtney here to United Way of Rhode Island. Dolph, I could not be happier to turn over the chairmanship to you.
Thank you, Michelle, for that kind introduction. And let me just say, on behalf of all of us who've served with you on the board, and on behalf of so many families that have benefited from your leadership, I want to say thank you for all you've given to United Way of Rhode Island. You know, your passion for the work has inspired all of us and helped steer the organization towards a sustainable future. I can't overstate the impact you've had and the legacy you leave at United Way of Rhode Island, so truly, thank you. You know, as a new chair, I couldn't be more excited to work with this board alongside Courtney and all of Team United. I'm so humbled by this responsibility and so privileged to work with such an exceptional group of people who want to make all of our communities better. And to that end, let me extend a warm welcome to all of our new incoming members of our board, as well as the new members of our Community Advisory Board. I'm inspired by your passion and your experience, which is so aligned with the mission of this great organization. You know, our collective success depends on a board that is fully invested, and I can't wait to get to work with you. Today, you join an organization that puts community first and is committed to keeping equity at the center of everything we do. And to share a little more about that commitment and to introduce our first award winner, I'm proud to turn it over to United Way of Rhode Island's Chief Impact and Equity Officer, Larry Warner. Larry?
Thank you, Dolph. I'm very excited to work with you to move our state forward for everyone. Earlier this evening, Courtney Nicolato, our president and CEO, outlined the progress we are already making toward the goals of our Live United 2025 strategic plan. It's truly awe-inspiring to see what we've achieved so far. But what is just as important is how we are carrying out our work. Our community-first mindset is not just a slogan. It's the way our 211 community resource specialists try to really get to know each and every one of the 250,000 people who call looking for help. That's why when someone calls looking for one resource, we typically connect them with an average of up to 4 community resources that will help them on the path to stability and prosperity. It's the way our Summer Learning Initiative provides so much more than just funding for innovative summer programs. We create a community of support for our providers that allows great ideas to flow. It's the way our advocacy team works through coalitions such as the Rhode Island After School Network and the Housing Network of Rhode Island to secure victories for all of our community members. Our goal, and with a community-first mindset, is to build a Rhode Island where every individual in every community has equal opportunity for justice and prosperity. However, we know that for our Black, Brown, and Indigenous neighbors, justice is still a goal yet to be attained. That's why equity is at the center of everything we do. It's at the center of every question we ask and every decision we make. That's why we build our work on disaggregated data, which can often uncover the subtle but substantial ways in which systemic racism impacts us, our neighbors, and all that we do. As we blaze ahead toward the goals of Live United 2025, we are more committed than ever to our community-first mindset and to centering equity in everything we do. That's why this year, we are excited to announce a new award based on these principles. Our new Community United Award honors the collective impact needed to make progress in our communities. We recognize that when a coalition of agencies come together in service of a collective mission, we can truly move the needle around complex issues. This collective power was felt in full force this year through the Homes RI Coalition. Launched in 2017, this backbone coalition of housing-focused organizations saw tremendous success this last year. This includes the ban on source of income discrimination, the passage of the Affordable Housing Bond, and the creation of a dedicated funding stream for housing in our state budget. And with that, please enjoy this video where we are honoring the Homes RI Coalition with this year's Community United Award.
Homes RI is a coalition of advocates. We are focused on increasing the supply of safe, healthy, affordable homes for all Rhode Islanders and reducing housing costs. For many generations, housing policy was rooted in systemic and institutional racism and keeping people out of communities. Having communities that reflect the diversity of Rhode Island. That's what Homes RI is about. We have worked to advance equity by promoting a couple of different initiatives. The passage of the source of income protection for tenants was huge. Another significant legislative victory that Homes RI was a part of is achieving a dedicated source of funding to build and preserve long-term affordable homes. COVID shifted away from kind of more long-term things to focus on what do people need right now and what are the major challenges that people are facing that are immediate. We shifted focus to work on advocating for a state-level eviction moratorium and foreclosure moratorium to prevent people from being displaced from their homes. United Way has been involved with Homes RI from early days and has been really a critical partner in the work, supporting the initiative with their staff and with financial resources, because we can't move things forward without that. There's a lot more future that's going to happen and a lot more work that I think we're going to do. I'm looking at this award not as we've achieved so much and now it's time to stop. As I said, I think this is like a beginning point and an invitation to keep making forward progress for safe, healthy, and affordable homes.
Congratulations, Homes RI, and especially Katie West and Melina Lodge, who make so much of the magic happen behind the scenes. And now, I have the pleasure to announce our next award, our Partners United Award. The Partners United Award is provided annually to enterprise partners of the United Way of Rhode Island, whose commitment to engaging their institution and stakeholders in our work is truly moving the needle towards a more just community. It is my honor to celebrate Starkweather and Shepley with this year's Partners United Award. Starkweather and Shepley have been servicing our communities for more than 140 years. They're older than us. Their deep commitment to the community is revealed through their charitable fund. Through the fund, they invest in issues that support children and families in need in order to create possibilities and ensure a bright future for our community. Starkweather and Shepley is a true partner across many dimensions, whether it is volunteering with their employees, running their workplace campaign, or working alongside us, supporting children and families in need. We know we have a true partner in Starkweather and Shepley, one that is committed to making our communities stronger and more just. Here is a little insight into why we selected Starkweather and Shepley for this year's Partners United Award.
Our approach and our commitment to community is embedded in part of our DNA. We're fortunate to be able to be in this position to support diversity, equity, and it's a responsibility. Starkweather and Shepley is an established Rhode Island institution in insurance. This is my 36th year at Starkweather and Shepley, and I've had the privilege to come up through the ranks and now be at the helm of a remarkable organization that's committed to our community. For the most part, we have 270 associates, of which probably 3/4 of them are Rhode Island based. Throughout the state, our associates are assisting with literacy, they're assisting with community initiatives, and the PAC to support and promote diversity and equity throughout our community is paramount, mission critical. It's a privilege to be recognized and aligned with the United Way of Rhode Island. Personally, it's an accomplishment that I'm very proud of. Being a recipient of the United Partners Award is an opportunity for us to lead diversity and equity throughout the state in our communities, which all our associates take great pride and privilege. It's a big lift and we need to be all in.
Congratulations again to Starkweather and Shepley, a true corporate champion in our community. To introduce our next award, I am so pleased to welcome United Way of Rhode Island board member and dear friend, Chris Sabatoni from the Laborers International United of North America to honor our Dante Malo Labor United awardee.
Thank you, Courtney. Good evening. It is my distinct honor to present the United Way of Rhode Island's 2021 Dante Malo Labor Community Service Award to a legendary leader, union brother, and mentor to all of us in the labor movement. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we honor a real Rhode Island treasure and icon, Rhode Island AFL-CIO President, George Nee. How fitting this moment is that George has been selected as this year's recipient of the highly respected Dante Malo Award. And that is because George had directly worked with and has the utmost admiration for the late, great Dante Malo. Going back to the early days, George has been part of the labor movement since 1967 when he started working construction as a member of the Laborers Union in his hometown of Syracuse, New York. George's calling to the civil rights movement then arrived while he was attending college in Boston, where he became inspired to help organize the grape boycott for the United Farm Workers of America. George put his talents, charisma, and intelligence on display and was offered a job to work for the farm workers, sending him to California. There, George became very close to Farm Workers President Cesar Chavez and became his personal security guard. George was then sent by President Chavez to Rhode Island to coordinate a lettuce boycott for the Union. After the successful conclusion, George was recognized for his natural abilities and was hired by Rhode Island AFL-CIO President Ed McElroy. In 1991, George was elected Secretary-Treasurer of the organization and then President in 2009. And during his tenure, George has led the Rhode Island AFL-CIO and its affiliated unions, rallying one collective voice, lobbying at the State House, and testifying at legislative hearings, all to protect workers and their families. Throughout his career, George has become a stalwart in our state and is highly respected by the labor community, business leaders, and elected officials. Make no mistake about it, one of the main reasons why Rhode Island has one of the highest percentages of unionized labor in the entire country is due to the steady-hand leadership of President Nee. And George believes in the importance and solemn obligation of giving back to the community. And that is why George had given his time serving on this very board, sharing his experience and resources. Over the years, George has made his mark within the rich history of our state, and with that, he has created a legacy that will live on for generations to come. Tonight, we honor a man who has given his entire life for the betterment of others, a man who has selflessly dedicated 50 years to the labor movement, a man who has always been about raising working people up. George, I know that tonight Dante Malo, your friend, your brother, is looking down at you from up above, proud that we are honoring you because you are so deserving to be recognized. So on behalf of the United Way of Rhode Island's Board of Trustees, it is more than fitting and certainly my greatest honor to present to you the 2021 Dante Malo Labor Community Service Award. Congratulations, George.
When we talk about equity, we're talking about essentially to make sure that people are treated fairly, that they have a good wage, they have good benefits, they're respected, that they're treated with dignity where they work, and that they feel that they can speak up. Working people have a right to have a voice everywhere where decisions are made in Rhode Island. So whether it's the governmental level, whether it's boards and commissions, whether it's charitable organizations. We have people that are on the Resource Recovery Board, the Convention Center Board, the Governor's Workforce Board, to make sure that when decisions are made, that the voice of labor is part of that decision-making process. And we believe we have an obligation and a right to be there when those decisions are made. I've tried to dedicate my life to make sure that people are treated in a just manner. And I believe very strongly that it's the labor movement that is the most important countervailing force to economic and political power in this state. This award means a lot because I knew Danny Malo personally. Danny was a force of nature. Danny preceded 211, but he was his own 211. And in fact, I think he would be so proud and amazed at what the United Way has done with 211. It's just so valuable that people have a place to call and can get some assistance. It's just, you know, a critical part of their mission and so much needed in our community.
Wow, what a legacy and a vision. We are so lucky to have George. Congrats, my friend. And now, for our final award, I'd like to introduce someone special to join me for the announcement. The John H. Chafee Live United Award should be introduced by our great friend, Zach Chafee.
How pleased John Chafee would be with the award in his name being made this year to Linda Katz. Because for decades, Linda has bent her huge energy and lawyer's brain toward freeing those thousands of Rhode Islanders enmeshed in poverty's cruel net. Together with the late Nancy Gewertz, she founded in 1999 the Poverty Institute with a key mission of moving into beneficial action the power of government. Now renamed the Economic Progress Institute, and with Linda still as policy director, the entity is brought to bear on the legislature's leaders carefully marshaled facts and reasoning regarding issues such as job training, child care, health care, adult education, and welfare. This work has required steady persistence, ingenuity, and no small measure of optimism. But Linda's has been a life of action on behalf of those in deepest need. In acting for them, she has acted for us as well. She carried out for us the duty of care a humane society owes to those of its own struggling to survive.
On our behalf, and on behalf of the thousands whose lives she has made better, what a pleasure to present the United Way's 2021 John Chafee Lifetime Community Service Award to Linda Katz. Thank you, Linda, for all you've done to earn it.
One of the things that we do at EPI is a lot of community education. There's thousands of people who are losing their unemployment benefits totally, and then others who are losing the $300 increase that they received during the pandemic. So we're working to get information out to folks about what types of resources are available to help meet basic needs, and also where people can go for help in looking for a job. The most recent success that we've had is we had a coalition this past year that worked to finally increase the benefit amount. For a family of 3, it's from $554 to $721 a month. It's the first benefit increase in 30 years. It, on the one hand, is a great success that we were able to finally move the needle and put some more money into the pockets of very low-income families, but it's still very little. I mean, those families are still trying to survive on 40% of the poverty level, so there's much more to do. United Way has supported the Workforce Alliance that was established about 15 years ago to bring together adult education providers, funders, advocates to ensure that the state invested enough resources in those foundational skills and supported the adult education network that Rhode is responsible for. The work that United Way is doing now in supporting the policy work and focusing on diversity, equity, and inclusion is very important work going forward, both for the United Way as using its own brand to promote that, as well as providing funding to organizations that are doing that work on the ground. I've been doing this work for a long time, and I do it because I love it. And again, I'd really like to thank the United Way for awarding me the John H. Chafee Live United Award. I was thrilled when Courtney called me to let me know about it. Very surprised, but also very grateful.
Absolutely amazing. Linda, I am so grateful for everything you have done for our state throughout your incredible career. So thank you and congratulations. And congratulations to all of our award winners. Your contributions to our state are truly immeasurable, and your impact will be felt for generations to come. Here at United Way of Rhode Island, we believe deeply in the power of conversation. And so we welcome all of you to continue that conversation in one of our breakout rooms. You will be able to chat and catch up with some of our award winners, as well as the expert staff at Team United. Here to provide you with the lineup of our breakout rooms tonight is Brooke Havens, our Resource and Engagement Officer. Enjoy.